Shalom. First and foremost, I'd like to give all praise to Yahweh, Ba'Hashem, Yahweh Shai, Ba'Hashem, Rekal Kadash. Double honors to elders and apostles of Great Millstone who are teaching this truth. And shout out to Yakim that's going out there on the four quarters of the earth proclaiming this truth. As you know, we are in the year of prophecy, and yet we're starting to see the fulfillment of another part of a prophecy that we know is soon to come. That is when the devil, the Edomites, are about to go into Syria and overthrow the government of the Syrian people and pretty much overcome them, to destroy Damascus completely, making it a ruinous heap. But we're seeing the flip side of it, which Ephraim can also be known as the Northern Kingdom. And you know what Donald Trump is about to do. That's what the practice of Jade Helm was all about. So that way they could deport everyone and then, send his troops in. And that's what he's doing. And, of course, now he's looking to take the birthright from them as well. To say that, if you were born here also, that you're not a so-called American, and to end that as well. It's an executive order he's planning to sign. So what does that mean? That means that the fortress shall cease from Ephraim, the Northern Kingdom, which we know that pretty much this whole thing's been orchestrated, just like the Syrian refugees was orchestrated. See, there's another parallel there. The Syrian refugees was caused by Esau going into Syria and supporting terrorist groups to overthrow the government of Syria, and, in particularly ISIS. Well, what do you think America's been doing in them countries like Guatemala, Venezuela? Supporting terrorists. And they're without water, they're without electricity, they're without food. And who controls all that? Edomites, so-called white people. And so we know that Soros has orchestrated this, just like he did with the Syrian refugees, because we know why they were refugees. Because, of course, they went into Syria and started bombing them. They had nowhere else to go. And, it's no surprise that, of course, America is supporting ISIS, because ISIS is gaining back territories from Deir ez-Zor. So we know who's behind these terror groups, and the same thing that's happening there is happening to the Northern Kingdom of Ephraim. That these countries, Guatemala, Panama, all them, Venezuela, Colombia, all these countries are being overrun by the Edomites, and pretty much the people, are being starved out and have nowhere to go because, of course, Esau's in control of that because they support terrorists. They've always been the terrorists. And so I'm reading out of Isaiah chapter 17 because this is about to happen. And this, more than anything, is the reason why the 200 million nuclear missiles will fall upon Babylon the Great, for what they're about to do to Syria. Isaiah chapter 17, verse 1. The burden of Damascus, behold, Damascus is taken away from being a city, and it shall become a ruinous heap. And how's that going to happen? By way of thermonuclear attack, which, of course, the United States will conduct this attack. Or at least the Israeli state does, which is Amalek, the least of their flock. And verse 3, the fortress also shall cease from Ephraim, and the kingdom from Damascus, and the remnant of Syria. They shall be as a glory of the children of Israel, saith the Lord of hosts. And so we know that what's going to happen is that we're seeing it. We're seeing it unfold. This thing's going to only escalate because that's what's about to happen. Donald J. Trump is to do one thing, fulfill his role of the New World Order. He's the one that they want. He's going to get reelected, despite what everybody thinks about these so-called elections, which tomorrow's bullshit election day, and people are just going to go out there and vote thinking that this will change the matter. No, America's going to be destroyed, and they have who they want in there. So Donald Trump, he's right where that they're going to keep him. So as far as, there being a change, I don't really think so. But if there is, it's only because the Rothschilds wants you to give you the illusion of it. And I'm going to read in Jeremiah chapter 49, concerning the Ammonites. Thus saith the Lord Yahweh, hath Israel no sons? Hath he no hair? Why then doth the king inherit Gad, and his people dwell in his cities? Of course, We know that modern-day Ammonites is these so-called Americans, these terrorists, because that's how they inherited the people of Gad, you know, and overcame them. You know, the troop that shall overcome them. Verse 4, wherefore gloriest thou in the valleys, thy flowing valley, O backsliding daughter, who trusted in her treasures, saying, who shall come unto me? Behold, I will bring fear upon thee, saith the Lord Yahweh of hosts, from all those that be about thee, and ye shall be driven out of every man right forth, and none shall gather up him that wandereth. So you vagabonds, you Edomites, you're going to be gathered up. That's why these countries are kicking you out. You know, they don't want you there anymore. You know, especially, you know, you start talking about South Africa and other places that you've stolen. They want you gone. Concerning Edom, thus saith the Lord of hosts, is wisdom no more in Teman? Has counsel perished from the prudent? Is their wisdom vanished? You know? And that's just it. They can't even pull off this false flag white helmets chemical attack, which they're still trying to do, but they haven't been able to do it because their wisdom, their ways of pulling off false flags just isn't there anymore. Nobody believes them anymore. Flee ye, turn back, dwell deep, O inhabitants of Dedan, for I will bring the calamity of Esau upon him, the time that I will visit him. And that's what's happening now. The Most High is visiting this place. He's also sending the sword out of those that will not repent. That's why he's coming heavily against Ephraim, against the northern kingdom, with using Donald J. Trump and his militia to come after them. If grape gatherers come to thee, would they not leave some gleaning grapes? If thieves by night, they will destroy till they have enough. But I have made Esau bare, I have uncovered his secret places, and he shall not be able to hide himself. His seed is spoiled, and his brethren and his neighbors, and he is not. So pretty much everybody sees Esau for who he is. They see America for what it is. The terrorists, those that are supporting the terrorist groups. And not even to talk about Yemen, but may as well, one of the worst tragedies in history, as they say it. But yet look at what they've done to us. You know, in these countries. You know, nobody ever talks about what's happening to the northern kingdom, Ephraim, and we're being starved out, and that's why they're coming up here. Because, of course, this whole thing's been orchestrated by them gutter rats that call themselves Jews. Those fake-ass fucking Jews, those Amalekites, those kikes. They're the ones that are causing everything. George Soros, in particularly. He's the one that caused the Syrian refugee crisis, and he's the one that's causing the crisis of Ephraim, which represents the northern kingdom, the Latin tribes, and includes Gad and Reuben, which are your so-called, you know, look at what happened with the Dakota pipeline. So we're seeing all this, the fortress ceasing from Ephraim. The Most High is allowing the sword to come against, because look at how long we've been out here prophesying in the name of Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai, and they will not take heed to this warning. No, they still worship Caesar Borgia, even though they know that this is a false image. We've called it out, and yet they still want to worship it. So, you know, the Most High is allowing the sword to come against him, which he's using Donald J. Trump and the United States militia to come against the tribe of Issachar, but all the other tribes as well, because that represents Ephraim as a whole. So the best thing that we could do now is still come out and prophesy, because they're trying to take it down. They tried to shut down the internet, because Esau's scared that this truth is out there. They can't even put their fake image up there because everybody knows who Caesar Borgia is now. And so they can't even fake that image, that they got to show you his real image, like in Uncle Drew and other movies, because they know that we know. And that's why he's using these other fake groups, you know, to pretty much push that not all Edomites will be destroyed, you know. They tried to hook-wink us with the sons of Japheth, but that doesn't work. You know, because they want to claim Ashkenaz. But what does Ashkenaz and Judah have to do with each other? They don't. You know, so there's no such thing as Ashkenazi Jews, which is the big way that they have hoodwinked the rest. But everybody knows, if you go into the other Middle Eastern countries, they'll tell you that those are not the real Jews. That the real Jews are what they like to call black people. Which is how I got into this truth to begin with. Because the Spirit came upon me to teach this truth. and that is to find this truth. You know, pretty much singing this new song means that you're getting your instrument ready and you're tuning it into theirs. And that's what happened. This word of Yahweh Ba'Hashem Yahweh Shai is different with everything that we've been taught. So we're tuning into the new song. Stretch Christianity has gotten us nowhere. And it doesn't even, you know, it's a false image to begin with. Because he had hair, white like wool, and feet like unto fine brass as if burned in a furnace. So he's not even the image. There is no J in the Hebrew. His real name is Yahweh Shai. Because who is he speaking to? The Hebrews. The Hebrew Israelites. And so, that false image that's up there is not the true biblical image. No, his name is Yahweh Shai. His name is Yahweh Shai. There's no J in the Hebrew. And Yahweh Shai, his word, who he loved, were his people, which are blacks, Latinos, Native Americans, and the confused pace that be among us. And no, in fact, he's going to destroy what you like to call white people. He's going to destroy you so-called white people, which is why he's bringing this out. That's why you're being exposed for everything you try to do in Syria, what you're doing now. And this place, America, is going to be destroyed by nuclear wrath. And that's the wrath that Yahweh Ba'Hashem Yahweh Shai, for those that are partakers of Babylon the Great, America, the beast, and whosoever receiveth the mark of his name, that is the RFID implant, which is coming very soon. They're putting it in people now. They're trying to cross the border. So, with all that, I hope this has been edifying. Until next time, I want to give all praises to Yahweh, Ba'Hashem, Yahweh Shai, Ba'Hashem Rukakadash, Brakatum. Shalom. Till next time. And death to America and you 2/3.